Hello all, this is Keerthana, Assistant Professor, Department of Commerce. Today I am here to present a lecture note on the subject of commercial law on the topic contract types. First we can see the meaning of commercial law. Commercial law, also known as business law, is the body of law that governs business and commercial transactions. It often considered to be a branch of civil law and deals with issues of both private law and public law. The application of commercial law has developed a specific set of laws that apply to commercial activities, pursuits, and transactions. This arm of civil law deals with issues both simple and complex that often relate to questions of both public and private sector laws. Commercial law governs sale and distribution of goods and proper procedure for payment of transactions. We can see the definition of contract. First, what is contract? A contract is a lawful agreement made by two or more persons within the limit of their contractual capacity with the serious intention of creating a legal obligation, communicating such intention without vengeance each to the other and being of the same mind as to subject matter to perform positive or negative acts which are possible of performance. Contracts have always been an indispensable part of our lives. Knowingly or unknowingly, we are entering into a contract hundreds of times in a year. Even when we buy a candy, we are entering into an agreement with the shopkeeper. Every time we visit a restaurant or book a cab, we are entering into a contract. Next, we can see the elements of a contract. The first element is offer and acceptance. An offer is a proposal by one party to enter into a contract under specific terms. Acceptance is the agreement to the terms of the offer, creating a binding contract. The second one is intention to create legal relations. Both parties must intend for the agreement to be legally binding. Social and domestic agreements may lack this intention. Next is consideration. Consideration is something of value exchanged between the parties, usually in the form of money, goods, services, or a promise. The next is certainty and possibility of performance. The term of the contract must be clear, performance must be possible, legal, and not against public policy. The next is legality of purpose. The purpose of the contract must be legal and not prohibited by law. The next heading is formation of contract. The first formation should be invitation to treat. Preliminary negotiations that invite others to make an offer. Offer clear, definite proposal indicating a willingness to enter into a contract. The next is acceptance. Unconditional agreement to the terms to the offer. Next is types of contract. So we have three bases. The first one is validity, second one is formation, and third one is performance. Express contract. These contracts have explicit terms either in writing or verbally communicated. Parties clearly state their intentions and obligations. The example is a written lease agreement for an apartment. The second contract is implied contract. Terms are inferred from the parties' conduct or actions rather than explicitly stated. The example would be a person orders food at a restaurant implying an agreement to pay for the meal. Third contract is unilateral contracts. One party makes a promise in exchange for the performance of a specific act by other party. Example will be a reward for finding a lost item. Acceptance is by performance, that is finding the item. The fourth contract is Bilateral contract. Both parties exchange promises and each promises is the consideration for the other. Example is a typical sales contract where one party promises to pay and the other promises to deliver goods. And the fifth contract is executed contracts. All parties have fulfilled their obligations and the contract is completed. Example, buying a coffee and immediately paying for it. And the sixth is executory contracts. Some obligations remain unfulfilled and the contract is still in progress. Example, a construction contract where work is ongoing and payment is yet to be paid. Seventh is void contracts. Legal effect from the beginning, it is a contract never existed. An example will be an agreement to commit an illegal act. And the eighth is voidable contracts. Valid but can be voided by one party under certain circumstances such as fraud or undue influence. Example is a contract with a minor who has the option to void the contract. And the ninth contract will be unenforceable contract, valid but cannot be enforced due to legal differences. Example is a contract not in writing when required to statute of frauds. Tenth contract is quasi contracts, implied by law to avoid unjust enrichment when no actual contract exists. Example, emergency medical treatment where a person is unconscious and unable to provide consent. Understanding the meaning of contract is fundamental to navigating legal relationship in various contexts. Whether in business or daily life or international transactions, contracts serve as the backbone of legal agreements, fostering trust and accountability between parties. Thank you.